Welcome back. This is 10.5 part 2. So we just went over in our books page 469 where we took the two circles. We had to shade in 3 halves, and then we briefly touched on the show and grow where we were plotting 6/4 on a number line, okay? So now I'm still on page 470, and I'm looking at number 1 where it says plot 15/8 on the number line. So to save time, I went ahead and did my best to draw what it looks like you have in the book, okay? So you have a number line, and it's got as continuing arrows. We start at 0. At our about halfway mark, we see the 1 tick, and then right near our final arrow, we see to the 2 whole ticks, okay? So let me grab another color, and I'm going to explain what we need to do. So remember, step 1 is dividing the part. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to write what our steps are, okay? So step 1 is divide equal parts, okay? Well, this seems fairly easy to do because we already have the picture to go off of. Let me fix the 0 a little bit so it's more accurate with the drawing that I have. Okay? All right. So to divide equal parts, especially when I already have a picture, all I'm going to do is everywhere I have the line that separates my equal parts, that will be a tick mark. Okay, so I'm just going to follow straight down, and I'm going to divide my parts. Now I know mine is not the most even. I really need to practice that, just like we told you guys to do. Okay, so I've divided into equal parts. That is step 1. Step 2 is label each tick mark, okay? So now I know something in Zoom that we practiced yesterday is here we did 0/8, and we have 1 or 8/8, and I'll do my 8/8, and I'll get into what the 2 is here in a minute, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and label from the 0 to 1 my first whole, 1 whole of my 8s, or my tick marks. So starting at 0, I have 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, or 8/8. 8/8 or 1 whole, okay? So now I have to keep going though, okay? Because I'm still in 8s, okay? I still have 8 sections, but I want to know what 15/8 looks like. So I'm going to keep going. If I count my tick marks, starting at the 0/8 all the way over to this one right here, it's going to be 9/8. And then 10, and it's going to keep increasing that way, okay? So when I get to the 2 whole, it will be 2 or 16/8. Okay, so that was step 2. That was labeling, okay? So I have my picture. I went through each equal share. I made my tick mark line just following down, and then I labeled, okay? So those are the 2 parts we've done so far. Now part 3 is plot. So I'm going to grab a different color so you can see where I plot. Let's use green, and I need to plot 15/8 Well, you can either count them all again to make sure that you get your 15/8, or you can just go to the 15/8 tick mark and draw a nice plot. Okay? And that's really what you have to do for number 1. Okay, so it gave you everything that I did in black. It gave you even those 3 tick marks in black. And then everything that you needed to do is in blue. Let's try another example. But this time we're going to try an example where it doesn't give us a picture. Okay, so I'm going to show you what it would look like on what you need to do when it doesn't give you a picture. Now keep in mind, you may always draw your picture or those fraction strips. That's what those pictures are called. They're just fraction strips for you. You are always allowed to draw one of those on top. But then sometimes it gets a little tricky, or maybe you just want to go ahead and plot on your number line, which is fine. So I'm on number 3 on page 471, and we are plotting 9, 6. Go ahead, and again, everything I'm doing in black is exactly what you should have in your book. And then I will complete the problem in blue to show you what it should look like that you're doing. So then it gives us the 1, and it gives us 2. Remember, this is 1 hole and 2 holes. Okay? So this is what we have. Now what I'm going to do is I'm looking at my denominator, so I know that I need 6 equal shares. I need 6 equal shares to get me from 0 to 1, and I need 6 equal shares to get me from 1 to 2. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and think that this is 0 6, and the 1 is also 6 6, and I will divide this up. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So I've got my 6 shares there. Remember, that's step 1, equal shares. Now I need to do the same thing for 1 to 2. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I always like to go back and make sure mine isn't the most equal. Like I said, I really need to work on that. And I hope at home you're working on making yours equal too. Okay, so step 1 was make my equal shares. Step 2 is label. So if I have 0 6, the first tick is 1 6, then 2 6, 3 6, 4 6, and 5 6. Then I hit 1 hole, which is 6 6, and if we remember from the last example, I'm going to keep moving up. So 1 hole plus 1 tick is 7 6, 8 6, 9, 10 6, 11 6. And my 2 holes, if you want to think of it in multiplication, just 2 times 6 will be 12 6. Okay? So that was step 2. Step 1 was equal shares, and step 2 is label all of your tick marks. And then my favorite is step 3, which is plotting. So I need to plot 9 6. Again, you can count out each tick mark, or you can go to where you already labeled 9 6 and give it a nice plot. Okay? So that's really what you're doing. When you look at number 5 and number 6, you have to count those tick marks yourself that the book already provides for you. So when you're counting those tick marks, think, if I'm starting at 0 to 1, how many equal shares? Okay? So if there's only 3 lines, well, that doesn't mean 3 equal shares because I still have from 0 to the first tick, so you need to count the spaces in between. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So count your spaces in between each tick mark, and finding the denominator is the easiest thing to do because it's just counting. And if you need to, make the 0 and the 1 and the 2 into the fractions that you already know. and then you can fill in the rest from there. Number 7 and 8, it's giving you a fraction. Okay, so again, start off with counting your equal shares. How many equal shares do you have? In this example, we have 6 equal shares. Okay, so you're going to count the equal shares that you have, and then you're going to label, and then you're going to draw a picture, okay? And it doesn't just want the picture like this, where we've split and said like 1/6, 1/6, 1/6. It wants something more like a square, and you shade in, and then you shade in whatever the question is asking. So keep that in mind. And then it looks like on 472, it gives you an awesome timeline, and it kind of shows you how to view a timeline as a map. Okay, so it gives you a timeline in miles from the school to the hospital, and then it's just going to ask you some questions based on that. Again, I would always go back, since it's already split up into equal shares for you, go ahead and fill in or label each tick mark so it makes it much easier to add together, okay? I know it seems like a lot, but I know you can do it. You are smart kiddos, and you understand this. You'll get it, and if not, watch again, email us, ask questions. I'll see you this afternoon.